Loki, imagine being a god. You've lived for thousands of years. Humans pray to you, fear you, worship you. And then one day, those same humans start punching back. Not only punching back, they actually start winning. The score is tied. 3 wins for humanity. 3 wins for the gods. Every fight from this point forward could decide the fate of an entire species, guys. And somehow, the next man representing humanity walked into the arena looking like he's late for a royal photo shoot. Fight 1. Qin Shi Huang versus Hades. King versus king. And you guys have to excuse me because I'm not sure how to pronounce his names. Can't even lie. What is Qin Shi Huang? Before we go into that, let's talk about Buddha. After his ridiculous performance in the previous round, everybody is trying to figure out who's going next. That's when we meet humanity's weirdest wildcard, Nostradamus. Wait. This is not what I expected Nostradamus to look like. When somebody says Nostradamus, I'm expecting an old wise dude, a philosopher, a prophet, a scholar, not a man who looks like he just escaped from a magical idol group. What? But before we can even process that, the gods had made their choice. For this round, it's gonna be Hades, the king of the underworld, the older brother of Poseidon. Brunhilde sees Hades step forward and immediately realizes something. If the gods are sending a king, humanity needs a king too. Enters Qin Shi Huang, and good lord, this man starts aura farming the second he appears. Guy, you know how Gojo walks into a room like he owns the building? That's Queen. You know how Escanor acts like confidence was invented specifically for him? That's Queen. This dude walks into the God's VIP section, steals his seats, starts drinking tea, and somehow everyone else looks like they're trespassing. How much aura does this dude have? The second the fight starts, Hades wastes 0 time. No speeches, no monologue, no power sequence, just immediate violence. Boom, 1 strike, the arena shakes. At first, it looks like Queen is untouchable. Every attack gets redirected. Every strike gets countered. Every movement feels perfect. It's almost like watching Ultra Instincts. But we learn the real truth behind his powers. Queen pays for every single thing he does. Every injury, every wound, every bit of pain. He feels it, not just his own, other people's too. This man isn't smiling because life is easy. He's smiling despite suffering every single day. We learn Queen was hated from birth, abandoned, rejected, blamed for things he never did, and yet somehow he never became bitter. Instead, he became stronger. Then we meet Chunyan, the woman who practically became his mother. And honestly, without her, there will probably be no Qin Shi Huang. She taught him that strength isn't pretending you don't hurt. Strength is carrying pain and continuing forward anyways. That lesson becomes the foundation of everything Queen stands for. Hades is also built different. The more damage he takes, the more dangerous he becomes. And eventually, he realizes exactly how Queen's ability works.
2,000 years later.
Both kings are exhausted, bleeding, barely standing. Humanity is screaming. The gods are screaming. Everyone knows this is it. One final attack, one final gamble, one final chance. Hades charges forward. Queen stands his ground. Neither man backs down. Neither man hesitates. And when their attacks collide, Queen uses his ultimate attack and defeats the king of the underworld. Humanity takes the lead. Humanity's next representative wasn't a warrior, wasn't a king, wasn't a swordsman. It was a scientist, a man so intelligent people thought he was a wizard, a man whose ideas changed the entire world, Nikola Tesla. And standing across from him was possibly the most broken god in Ragnarok, Beelzebub, the lord of the flies, the man who wished he was dead. Now, if you told me humanity was sending another king, I'd understand. Another swordsman makes sense. Another martial artist, sure. But a scientist against a literal god, that sounds like the beginning of a bad decision. But Nikola Tesla pulls up into the arena and immediately starts talking like he's at a TED talk instead of a death match. Tesla isn't nervous. He isn't scared. He isn't angry. He's excited. And honestly, That's way scarier because most fighters enter the arena trying not to lose. Tesla enters the arena trying to learn. Now, let's talk about Beelzebub because this dude might be the saddest anime character in the entire series. And that's saying something. This man has negative aura. Every room he enters immediately loses happiness. Every flashback starts with depression music. And the worst part, it isn't his fault. We learn that everyone Beelzebub loves dies. Friends, family, people who care about him, gone. Every single time. Just imagine finally finding people who accept you, only to wake up and realize they're dead because of a curse attached to your existence. Man, that's brutal. The fight begins, and immediately Tesla starts moving fast, like really fast. Now, let's talk about the suits because this thing is ridiculous. It's basically anime Iron Man, but I'm not even mad about it. The second Tesla starts flying around the arena, I knew we were entering a different type of fight. Every other battle felt mythological. This one feels like science fiction, and somehow it works perfectly. Because Beelzebub's vibrations are absolutely broken, this man can attack and defend at the same time. His shield blocks almost everything. His attacks can regrow nearly anything. The one person who never gave up on Beelzebub was Hades. The same Hades who just died. The same Hades who believed there was still hope for him. He's fighting for the memory of someone who believed in him. Meanwhile, Tesla reminds us why humanity loves him. His story isn't tragic, it's inspiring. He doesn't become great because of suffering. He becomes great because of curiosity, because of imagination, because he refuses to accept limitations. Every time somebody says something is impossible, Tesla immediately wants to try it. Tesla launches everything he has left, every ounce of power, every ounce of energy, every ounce of hope. And then Beelzebub lands his final hits. Silence, pure silence. Humanity loses. The score becomes tied again. 4 wins, 4 losses, and somehow, even in defeat, Tesla leaves smiling because progress never stops, even when the person pushing it forward does. At this point, the pressure is insane. The next fight could completely shift the momentum. The gods choose Apollo, the god everyone either loves or gets annoyed by after 5 minutes, and humanity responds with a man carrying enough anger for an entire country, King Leonidas. At this point, nobody can afford to lose, and that's when Apollo enters the arena. Apollo's got perfect hair, perfect skin, perfect confidence, perfect everything. Bro's life difficulty was set to easy mode, or at least that's what everyone thinks. Then Leonidas enters, and immediately the energy changes. You can already tell these two are complete opposites. The bell rings, and before Apollo can even finish breathing, Leonidas is already swinging. No intro, no speech, no yapping, just violence. Now I gotta give Apollo credit. This man had some of the cleanest movements in Ragnarok. He's weaving, sliding, leaning, sidestepping. I genuinely thought I was watching Hajime no Ippo. Every time Leonidas throws a hit, Apollo is already somewhere else. And honestly, I know Leonidas was getting frustrated because nothing is more annoying than fighting somebody you can't hit. One of the Spartans says he's trying to avoid a head-on fight, and that Apollo would have lost if Leonidas was fighting with him head-on. And eventually, Apollo hears them. Most guys would have ignored the criticism. Apollo, nah, this man literally limits himself, creates boundaries, and tells Leonidas, fine, you want a real fight? Let's fight. And suddenly, everybody realizes something. Apollo isn't scared. He never was. Then Record of Ragnarok does something I didn't expect. It makes Apollo likable because at first glance, he looks spoiled, looks privileged, looks arrogant, looks like everything was handed to him. But that's not what happened, not even close. Long ago, Apollo wasn't respected. People laughed at him, looked down on him, doubted him, and instead of complaining, he got stronger day after day, year after year. Then he met Python, a monster hated by everyone, rejected by society, abandoned because of his appearance. Apollo didn't see a monster, he saw somebody suffering. This is where Apollo starts dropping some philosophy, and I'm not gonna lie, bro was cooking. He basically says life isn't fair. Some people start ahead, some people start behind. behind, but what matters is what you do next. At this point, I started understanding why so many people love Apollo, because underneath all the beauty, all the confidence, all the fame, he genuinely wants people to become the best versions of themselves. He's basically what happens if All Might and Escanor had a Greek god cousin. Apollo finally decides to stop holding back, and that's when he pulls out the bow. Apollo fires, and suddenly, boom, a hole appears in Leonidas. No warning, no build-up, no dramatic dodge, just instant damage, because the arrow moves at light speed. Now both fighters are exhausted. Both fighters know this is the end. Apollo transforms himself into the ultimate arrow. Leonidas puts everything into one final attack. The crowd rises. Humanity is screaming. The gods are screaming. They charge. Then it happens. Apollo's attack lands. The fight is over. The god of the sun wins. Just when everyone thinks the tournament is the main story, Record of Ragnarok reminds us there is something much bigger happening. Buddha starts investigating. Siegfried is still locked away. Odin is acting suspicious. And suddenly the tournament starts to feel like only a piece of a much larger puzzle. So after all that chaos, the score now stands at humanity 4, gods 5. Humanity is officially behind. The pressure has never been higher. The fights are only getting crazier. And if season 4 delivers the way season 3 did, we might be looking at the best stretch of Records of Ragnarok yet. If you enjoyed the video, hit subscribe and let me know which fighter had the best performance. Queen, Tesla, Apollo. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.